Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another MyMusic. It is a beautiful, warm day in the UK, as it looks like it is there, wherever you are, Fran. Where are you?
So I normally live in New York, but I'm in Maine right now with my boyfriend's family.
Oh, is
We're
it
just
nice?
yeah,
Is it
we're on
nice in
vacay.
Maine? I've never really taken much. Yeah,
It's so nice. We're around like a bunch of lakes. They do like a 1 year week off vacay thing, so it's been nice to take a break and be in the woods. You know what I mean?
I I know what you mean. I mean, I live in Somerset in the UK. If you ever get the chance to visit here, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. This is the same, right?
Hmm.
It's countryside. You get out. There's nature. There's lakes. There's woods. There's places to roam. It helps the mind.
Like this is my view during this interview.
That is epic.
Come on, dude. Doesn't get better than this.
It really doesn't get better than this. We will find out what Fran's been up to since I last spoke to her straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Fran, thanks for coming back and talking to me yet again.
Thank you for having me again, Graham.
I didn't know whether you do it actually to begin with, because I kind of made you cry last time.
Well, yeah, but that's not particular to you. That's a daily thing. That would have happened whether if it was in the conversation with you or the next conversation I had, with my neighbor.
Right. Okay.
Not to say that the interview questions weren't special. You got it out of me, but it was ready.
It was there. You're emotive anyway. You're.
Right.
Why is that? Why is that in you? Why is that ability to well up in you then? Where's
That's
that come
so
from?
cool that you call it an ability. I've heard people call it an ability. It feels like a burden a lot of the time, but the more I talk to people that have a hard time emoting, I can't imagine what it would feel like to have it stuck. I think it comes from my mom was always very expressive emotionally, so I think that initial thing made me feel comfortable to do so. And yeah, I don't know, it must be genetic or something. I've just never really been able to not have it out if it's coming out.
I'm a crier, but it comes out at the wrong time sometimes. I think.
When's the right time? It always feels a little
Well,
vulnerable. It always feels a little bit like I've exposed myself. And it's not always, people assume that if you're crying, you're sad. But sometimes I'm just like watching something from like an outside perspective, and I just have a moment of like gratitude because I don't know how I could have gotten these things. And then it just, it's just emotion. Even if it's positive, pours out in the form of tears for me. And then people just assume you're sad, but that's not my concern.
yeah, no, I totally get that. For me, it's like just a welling up of stuff that's there, that's ready to come out.
Totally.
But for me, it's quite often it's watching TV or whatever. It could be a film, it could be a moment in a film. Doesn't even have to be the saddest moment in the film. It could just be like something that connects.
Right. It just has to be the right emotion.
Yeah, it's something that you feel like you've connected to, or like it's you've experienced that maybe in your past, or you feel like you've traveled through that and come out the other side or whatever. And it could be daft. It could be like, I don't know, someone giving blood.
Right. You always feel better after, I find, which is like that's what I don't know what you do if you can't have that release, but it always feels better, just like any good or bad feeling. Like once you have it, it always passes. But if you don't have an out like that, then you just have to like sit in it and then wait for it to go away, I guess.
True. But when I say I wish it sometimes happened at the right time. Sometimes I feel like I don't cry when I should cry. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like when there's a situation happening in front of me with other people that are, important to me in my life, and I don't cry.
It seems like you're lacking empathy.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just that I'm not, maybe in that moment, I feel like empowered to be strong.
Right.
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 But
Because you can't, and that I'm sure that plays a role, because you can't be in that scenario. You're kind of holding it down. If you
yeah,
break, everyone's breaking now.
exactly.
Right.
Listen, folks, if you're just tuning in, you haven't reached psychology time with Fran and Graham. It's not this.
We love talking about emotion.
But we love talking about emotion, and because it's important, because emotion runs through music, right? Why would you write music if you can't be emotive about things?
Oh, definitely. I don't think if I was this emotional of a person, I would be involved in music at all. Otherwise, and if there wasn't music, I think I'd go crazy.
I've listened to the songs that you've released for this EP, which we're about to talk about. There's some pretty emotive lyrics in there.
It was one of the most emotive times of my life.
Wow. I mean, there are lyrics in there that immediately make you want to cry.
And they did.
And they did. And they did. Did you have a hard time? Did you have a hard time singing any of those lyrics?
Yeah. I think the hardest one for me to sing is Broken, for obvious reasons, but yeah, also writing it, like that song, I had a big back and forth with that song. I still do. And then one day I listened to it. I had called like 3 meetings with the team, one being like, I don't think the song should come out. I don't know, I feel weird about it. And then I would listen to it, and it's now referencing the back and forth that I have. Like, it was referencing the exact feeling I was having. So I was like, isn't this just proving my point?
Right.
This is just proving the point. So then after like 2 or 3 more back and forths, I was like, I need to trust the feelings that I had when I wrote it, and then just put it out. And if I don't relate to it anymore, then I can write something new. But
so that's
it was
interesting.
honest when I wrote it, and I need to remember that it was honest when I wrote it, because then it kept having cycles where sometimes I didn't relate to it, and I was like, what does this line even mean? Even though I wrote it and I meant it when I wrote it. And then I'd listen to it when I'm going through something again, just to see if I would feel different about it. And all of a sudden it would connect very much like the first time. So, then I had this whole like journey with this one specific song that eventually led me to just be like, what's the harm in putting it out?
Yeah. Hardest line in that song to sing? Was there a line where your voice just went when you were singing it?
Yeah. And usually when I'm talking about being an excuse for peace of mind, the walking contradiction, it's too real. Yeah, I gotta have a different line. I sing live or something.
That's a good
I
idea.
usually get through it because the nerves of just doing it in front of people help you detach from the emotion a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think that I've written the song that makes me break on stage every time yet.
Do you want to?
That's not like a goal per se, but I'd love to reach a place where I think this EP was my first letting out of emotions, like my first attempt at writing down my fears into music.
Yeah.
And now that I've done that in this soft, like what I considered palatable way that I could muster, now I'm ready to push the lines a little bit with the energy I put in the music. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes total sense.
It was just like a journal entry, my first thing out in the world.
Yeah. You'll get there. You'll write the song that makes you cry every single time.
Totally.
I I look forward to it. I look forward to seeing it live.
Yeah, me too.
That
But-
well,
Opens up there. Yeah, me too. I look forward to singing it live.
yeah. Let's journey back a little bit, because last time I spoke to you, you hadn't gone and done this massive thing that you then went and did, which I presumed was on the manifestation list.
That's right. I hadn't recorded anything yet, right?
You hadn't recorded anything, and you hadn't done the voice.
Oh, that's right.
You hadn't done anything.
Wow, that's
like
crazy.
that, right? So
Yeah.
this was prior to the whole voice thing. Were you totally prepared for what the voice was going to be, or
Can you ever?
Well, I don't know.
I was going into it really like probably the biggest performance I've ever given. Like some people on that show, a lot of people had been performing since they were really young. They were like nervous, of course, because of the judges, but we're not supposed to call them judges, coaches. And I was not. I was a ball of nerves. But I just did what I could with what I had, and it took me where it needed to, and I think it was like a very specific step in my path. Like I know I was supposed to leave at that exact moment for a very specific reason, and in that moment I couldn't see it. I was angry. I couldn't understand like why it didn't make any sense to me, because the performance that I left on was like my best performance there. And so it seemed like I was doing better, but I left instead. So it took a while for me to actually see, like, I had to leave in that moment to be able to be found by like this independent who wanted to help me produce. And if I hadn't left the contract at that time, you know what I mean? Like just things that in hindsight helped me understand that it was already written.
Well, do you know what? The journey is the most important thing in everybody's success.
Totally.
You know, the longer you're alive on the planet, the more you realize that.
Right. And
It's
it
weird.
almost gave me more of a, like, that's when you find out if you really want to keep doing the thing.
Cool. Completely.
Right.
Yeah. It's the days when you think nobody's listening, or you just think, oh, someone comes back and criticizes something, or says, that last one wasn't very good, or you read some trolling or any of those things.
Or just having someone that has been very successful tell you that it's time to go home now. It's very easy for you to take that and be like, I will never survive in this industry. I'm clearly not good enough, even in this group of 12 or however many it was.
Yeah.
But then you realize that like it just wasn't needed in that place. I don't know. That's how, when you find out if you really want to use that as a driver, if you want to use that to like justify to yourself that it's not good enough.
Yeah.
It's just about perspective, which applies to everything in life. But in this particular instance, it was like the biggest lesson in that for me.
Well, listen, I'll let you into a secret. Over here in the UK, I don't know what it's like over there in the States, but over here in the UK, we always see it as a curse if you win those things anyway.
It can be.
Yeah. I'm sure it's great for, the people that do really, really well.
Totally.
Right.
I think I wasn't, the kind of art I'm making wasn't the best showcased on that kind of show.
It's entertainment, right?
Right.
Yeah. Those things are entertainment. It's a great step up. What it does do is it showcases you to the world. Right. Suddenly the world knows who Fran is.
Right.
Was that weird?
I don't think I still feel like that happened.
You don't feel like that's happened.
No,
listen,
because
listen, I'm going to argue with you. You know that's happened, right? Because I do my research. I looked at some of your latest Instagrams, right? Mm-hmm. You've got people asking you daft stuff like, what does Adam Levine smell like?
Yeah.
You know, when you start getting asked questions like that, right? More of the world knows you. But the thing,
Oh, you know what's crazy about that? Because I'm about to expose some stuff right here. Because this
Yeah.
is all perception.
Yeah.
From an outside perception, you look at this big number, you look at engagement and with the things that people ask, and it looks like everyone's wondering when you're touring, and these videos look professionally shot, and you clearly have a team. That question was asked by someone in the car who was typing in funny questions so we can answer them.
Nice.
So, like, that's not even, like, you know what I mean? The number, that number mostly came from the Jolene Hallelujah cover, which blew up. So, like, I only really went up 10K from The Voice.
Right.
And I'm not touring. And I shoot all my video myself. But I think there's this perception of like trying to match your content to the number so it looks like you're at this level, and it's a huge it's like the world doesn't know Fran. You know what I mean? This 164K or whatever the number is like 5% in Ohio, 5% in Michigan, 5%, and it'll slowly build like that, but there's this big disconnect when you're starting to grow, that it's like you're famous, everyone knows Fran.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's still very niche, I think.
Can I ask you though, did it go up? Did your following across the demographics, etc., did it change significantly anywhere in the world? Because I quite like it. When I look at this show, always amazes me. My biggest following is in the United States of America. Right. Not in the UK. I'm based in the UK. I've got an English accent. Right. I'm sure that the people of America like an English accent. I'm sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right. But the biggest following is in the States. And then the UK.
I actually got my biggest thing from The Voice was in Costa Rica.
Yes. Now that's what I was going to say.
Me to, like, my hometown. Yeah.
Yeah. Because people realize where you were from.
Exactly. So then that I think was the biggest change, and probably all 10K difference was all from Costa Rica. So that did impact a lot. That was cool because otherwise there wasn't really a way to reach that like part unless I started singing Spanish, which I don't do a whole lot, and I clearly don't look Costa Rican. So unless it was like on a show like that, everyone's kind of like, yeah, no, you're not.
No.
Yeah.
Now, you found a way to capitalize on that yet? Are you going to sing like the Costa Rican national anthem?
No.
At some kind of football stadium sometime soon, or
that would be sick. Yeah, if they fly me out. I would love to start singing more in Spanish and Italian, but I'm not really trying to capitalize on it. Like, they'll just keep up with me because I'm singing. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that if people like it further, they'll find me.
I think people from Costa Rica probably just love the fact that someone was mentioning Costa Rica.
Totally.
It's good. It's good. Most people in the world wouldn't know where that is. They'd have to look it up on a map. Yeah. You know,
it has this exotic, like, imagery around it. Totally.
You probably are owed money by the Costa Rican tourist board for improving the amount of holidays.
You know what? Let me send them an email right now and check.
I think you should. I mean that you know.
Send me a check.
Send me a check, please. I've got a music career to pay for here.
Nah, it'll pay for itself. It's coming.
So you found some people that this is important, right? So out of the voice thing and whatever, you found some people that did believe in Fran, though. That's the important thing. You found some people that understood the vision.
Totally.
Yeah.
Even if I didn't really understand the vision. And sometimes I still don't really understand the vision, and I'm just like, you have to think ahead sometimes about how it's going to be perceived as a whole when you're writing music, I guess. Yeah. No, I don't know. I just write it, and I didn't put a lot of mind into how it was going to be Yeah, how it's going to be perceived or branded. I still don't really know what my brand is. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I know quite a lot about branding.
Oh, right. We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's what I do.
It's like the most important, like now it's really important to have the 3 words that describe you and all of that. I don't know. I don't know what my 3 words are. And I
Well,
kind of just never
But
cared
you've got
enough.
the tattoos, so there's.
Well, yeah. I have a big thing with
Ah.
3, but I don't know what my big 3 brand things are
Well, but maybe just use the tattoos then.
to explain it. That's my brand.
Just yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you could literally, if the album ever comes out, it can literally just be that part of your neck.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
That's it.
Let it be known that if that happens, it was Graham's idea.
There we go. Just
That's
a
a pretty
picture
good
of
idea.
Fran's neck with the 3 dots, and then that's the meaning. That's the brand. That's the meaning. That's everything. If
Wait,
you,
this is a great idea.
yeah. If you don't know what the 3 dots mean, you're going to have to go and look on Fran's profile because she does explain a little bit about what it all means.
I can
There you
explain
go.
it again.
Well, yeah, but should we explain everything now? The thing is, what I really like doing on social media, and I think sometimes artists miss a trick with this, is that they explain everything everywhere. And
Mhm.
I think sometimes the trick is not to explain everything everywhere, but make people move around.
Mm,
Yeah.
right.
I think that's important. We were talking just before we came on about the fact that I've managed to get people looking at music on LinkedIn, which the industry said that, you know, it was never going to happen. And it does happen, and it is happening, and people are getting great results on it. You know, and because I feel like sometimes the industries, and I'm not just going to say the music industry, but industries think that people are a bit dumb, and I think people are smarter than industry thinks that they are. I think people can understand things like you. I think people can understand that Fran isn't this, but Fran can be all of these things.
Right.
Right.
It's just like an essence that you get when you listen to the music or interact with the person that it can't, that I just haven't found the right words for yet.
Listen, every single artist that I've ever spoken to, right, when I've asked them a question about Spotify, other streaming platforms are available, has said exactly the same thing. When it comes to uploading their music onto said platform and categorizing it and putting it in said genres, they struggle.
Yeah.
They do not know where to put themselves.
Right.
Right. Because I just think, especially now more than ever, people aren't really worried about genre anymore. I think music is far less connected to very specific fashion than it ever was before. I go to concerts and I'll see goths there, and I'll see folkies there, and I'll see, you know, general hipster people there, and what people of all walks of life, all kinds of different ages, and the music can be incredibly varied throughout an evening as well. Now you're getting more concerts where it's like one type of music to open and another type of music, and people are enjoying the whole experience. Now that never used to happen. Never used to happen.
Do you think that capacity to know exactly where you stand, it is a differentiating factor between how quickly you find your audience?
That's a really interesting question. And
Because
I
I
also
think
feel
that
like it's really great when people like you come on and they start interviewing me.
Well, because I just think that there's an advantage that I don't think I have yet, where you know exactly how you're perceived. When you know exactly how you're perceived, you know exactly how to market yourself, and not in a manipulative way, but that's the reality. You know how people see you, so you know how to take advantage of that in a not slimy way. And when you're kind of like figuring yourself out and lost in a little bit of a way.
Yeah.
That's the disadvantage, is you don't even know what your audience is, because I don't even know kind of who I am in a lot of ways.
Right. I can answer that. I've been through the whole of that, and I've come out the other side of that. And the thing that made me feel really comfortable was when I realized that rather than trying to fit my business into particular slots, because the way that I work with people is multitude of different ways, right? So I don't do one thing, right? I define businesses that do one thing as orange sock businesses, right? These are people that sell orange socks, right? It's really easy. If you're an orange sock business, you go, do you want orange socks? Yes. Well, I sell orange socks. We have them. We have them in all of these different sizes, male, female, or one size fits all. And if you want orange socks, we have them. Yellow, no, sorry, don't do. Right. It's easy. Then you can fit into those nice little boxes, right? But when you're a complex, multifaceted individual who does all of these different things and is one thing to one person, one thing to another person, and doesn't want to sit necessarily in one specific box, right? Then actually what you realize you need to do is you need to make the brand you. And the brand is your uniqueness. Right? And that's where I think musicians that are really clever are beginning to get there, right? Where they're going, do you know what? I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to talk about this aspect of my life. I'm going to do this over here because this is important to me, and I'm gonna make that part of my. I'm going to start a charity over there, and I'm going to do something philanthropic over there, and whatever. And I'm going to do my music over here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show people me.
And then they just attract the audience by being authentically themselves, and that's how the brand becomes just their unique qualities, right?
Yeah. So in the same way that Tom York famously gave Natasha Khan of Bat for Lashes the advice that if you get stuck in terms of writing music, paint. My view is that musicians need to do whatever it is that shows them being them, right? That they shouldn't. Sometimes you need to get away from the music to show people the music.
That's great. I've never thought about it like that. Because sometimes what matters more is not just putting out music, especially when it doesn't feel authentic, because you're just forcing it out, but just showing like who you really are through whatever it shows that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel that's the way. I feel that's the thing. And the other thing as well is that musicians get, especially in your people of your age in particular, trying to get going, putting the music out, so easy to get on that hamster ride of like scheduling everything in, especially on socials around releases. I've got the release here, and I'm going to do this up to the release, and then I'm going to do this, and then there's the post release, and and then that's leading up to this, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I say to people is fill your diary with activity, not content.
Yeah.
Right?
Like in terms of content diary or actual like personal?
No, in actual like personal life stuff. Right? Fill your diary, right? Have your diary actually filled with like, I'm doing this. Right?
See, even me just asking that is still thinking content.
Yeah.
You mean like your diary, like on stories?
No, but what I'm saying is,
totally.
if I say like, I could sit here for days going, what I'm going to do with my business is I'm going to do this, right? But if I actually get out and start doing it, and then filming it, or getting testimony from other people that I'm working with them and I'm doing something and I'm collaborating or whatever, there's my content. Right? That content is so much more interesting than me talking about the fact I'm going to do it.
Totally. Yeah, totally. And I've had my own like whole journey figuring out what's a healthy way that feels good to promote this whole EP, especially because it's been a waterfall release, so it feels like it's like promo for the song that's coming out, and then forget about that song, now it's promo for the next song coming out, and then which is counterintuitive because, and I figured this out during that, because it's like all this content is just for a pre-save, and then and then the song's out, and then I don't touch it again. But first off, who pre-saves anymore? I think pre-saves are going out. Like, I can't tell you. I don't think I've ever pre-saved.
Or having said that, I have pre-saved you.
Thank you. With the one exception, thank you, which comes out in 3 days, by the way. But yeah, and then I think in the future I would rather just put it out and then do all the promo or whatever after, so there's just a clear place to go. But yeah, then it was just like all this work for each pre-save link, and it feels way nicer to do it once all the music is out. Then you just like approach each song with like, what part of the song do I want to focus on today? And it's less focused on driving to an action, because now it's just like, if you like it, it's already out.
Yeah,
I can just focus on the parts of it that I like.
Well, give a great example. I talked earlier about Charlie, right?
Yeah.
He's he's great vocalist. I mean, the guy's got an insane range, etc. And he's got that thing where he can hear every note.
Perfect pitch, yeah.
Perfect pitch. Brilliant. Right? But I mean, he's been doing these Instagram things because he's clearly excited by the science of music. Right? So, I mean, he's done one this week where he's like played Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And he shows how it's like sped up that and then what it does emotionally to people to have it sped up because it gets to that right pitch where it makes
he goes into
yeah. And then he plays One Direction. Everybody wants to be that one. And then right. And that's sped up as well. And he's clearly passionately excited by it, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Watching that has made me want to go and listen to him.
Right. You start to not care what he's talking about. Like, you're not super invested in the songs he's talking about, but there's something so captivating about watching someone talk about a thing that they're so into, because there's very little things in life that bring that out of people. But when you see someone so excited just about talking about a subject, especially when it's one that doesn't do that for someone else, it's like, it's absolutely captivating. I get locked in. And of course, then that would make you want to see what comes out of your brain making music.
Correct. There's so many people that have said they've discovered artists on this show, right?
Yeah.
Right. We've never played an ounce of music. Well, the odd person's played a few chords on the guitar, but we've never played any songs on this show. Right. So this is a great example again, right? People listening to people talking passionately about their passion.
Yeah.
Has incited people to then go and find out about those people's music.
Totally.
Right.
Which also, then that's a great thing to remember when you're talking about your music, and it can feel like you've talked about it so much. And I'm sure there's been interviews where I talk about the EP and I'm just tired, and the opposite of passion is coming out of me. So it's a great thing to remember, because if I can't muster the feeling that I had when I wrote it to show how passionate I am about the project, why would anyone want to tune in? Exactly. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Keep the passion there. And, if you feel like the need on that day to talk about geraniums instead of the EP, talk about geraniums. That's all I'm going to say. As long as it's
a right.
Yeah. As long as there's something in there that goes, God, I like Fran. I like Fran. I like I like her passion. I like her lust for life. I like her emotion. I like her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something as long as you're drawing people to you as a person because you're passionate about what you're talking about that day, doesn't
Right.
matter what that is. And I think musicians need to remember that sometimes, you know, because let's get back to selling and unique selling points, right? Everybody out there is talking about their latest single. Everybody is asking everyone to pre-save. Everybody's doing the same thing, right? So you stand out more when you go, I want to talk today about this person that I've just met who's got a disability, and you know, it's a fantastic story, and let's talk about them.
Right.
You stand out more, right? That might be your passion. That might be your passion that day.
And a lot of the times it's just like it's like, I have a new single, go pre-save. Why?
Why?
How do you feel about it? And I've done that before, and that's a thing I had to learn, because it's like, what would make you want to go listen to something? And it totally is like just hearing someone talk about a thing they care about, and then you find out they do music and you're intrigued by that, or they wrote this. Like, that's why I think there's more success when people explain why they wrote it. I know you say to leave some mystery in a lot of ways, yes, but when you like really go into the story of why something was written and how it was written, those are the moments where I think exposing more helps.
Yep. Sometimes little details are great, right?
Right. Just little seeds.
Little details, like I wrote this song here. Doesn't matter how boring here is. It might be, this is the couch where I wrote this song. I wrote this song sat under this tree. I wrote this song on this guitar.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
That can be content.
Anything can be content, as long as you care about it.
As long as you care about it. Absolutely. After this interview, Fran's going to go and do a little walk around that beautiful area that she's inhabiting at the moment. She's going to do some Instagrams of the beauty around her. And you're probably going to go gushing over it, because I know I would.
I'm writing a lot on this trip. I'm writing a lot and doing less content.
Well, there you go. So, you know, just show people the pen that you're writing with.
Sometimes you have to remember why.
Yeah, sometimes.
Like I'll keep posting like the same thing about a song, and then it becomes automatic, and you have to remember why you even like it.
Sometimes as well, it's good to. One of the things I always say to my people that I train to do social media for business, right? But the same thing applies and I think this is really, really important thing, and it really applies to musicians as well, is to remember that it's not about you, it's about the audience.
Even more, it's about the song.
Yeah, but the song is for the audience, right? It's for you, but it's also for the audience. The thing is, do you know what a song is, right? The song is the start of a dialogue. Right.
Right.
It's the start of a dialogue between you and the world, right? And the world, but it has to, in order for a song to work, the world then has to talk back to you.
Totally. You mean in a way to make it less about you.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about how like I'm perceived with the song. It's about like making a thing that will help other people. Right. Totally. Yeah. It can get really self-centered very quickly, and you forget that the point is to put it out. Like it's to be out. Yeah.
I've mentioned this a few times, but Beth McCarthy, who's been on in the past and did The Voice in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she did this thing with one of her songs, which really, really blew up on the TikTok and the Instagram and whatever, which is, I like calling it the Tiki Talk, actually.
The Tiki Talk.
Because that makes me sound old. she did this thing on the TikTok where she had one of those silly little mics, lapel mics, and she's still doing it to this day. And the song was called "What Do You Call It?" Yeah. So she cleverly started doing a load of interviews with people at bars, queer bars, right, where she was interviewing them about their sexuality, right? And so she'd go, but she started it every time. She'd start with, "What do you call it?" which is the first line of the song.
Whoa.
Right.
And
then she'd go, "It is you," and then she'd pass the mic to them, and they'd talk about how they identify.
Right.
Brilliant.
Which obviously then if you like connect to the video, you're going to want to know about the song. Yeah, of course. That's genius.
That is genius. But what it's doing is it's making the song about the audience, not
totally. Yeah.
I love that. I think there's some brilliant things to learn there. What's next for Fran after this EP?
It's crazy to think about what's next because so much work has been around this EP for so long. But I have started thinking about the direction I'd like to go on after this first outpour of feelings, I would call it. And I definitely think that for the time it was good to be a little, it's really, I don't want to say safe, but I think I'd like to be less safe with my next like EP or album or whatever it turns out to be. There's already a whole EP written and it's very R&B, much higher energy. I think I want to get a little bit crazier, maybe a little bit angrier, just like riskier emotions that are real, that I think for the first EP I watered down in an authentic way because that's kind of what I was doing. That's what I was doing inside anyway.
Are there, don't give too much away, but are there like musical stabs of difference in there as well? Are you?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my original influences start to make a really clear. I started to use more of my influences more instead of just like this feeling sounds to me like this melody. And I started to work from like my Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, 90s R&B, real like beginnings, into more like, just more artistic choices that I think I was limited because I was just writing a lot of things with my guitar skills.
Okay.
And now I can.
We might get some organ stabs in there and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, lots of minor 7 chords.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm very excited to it. Yeah, it feels like the next like learning about myself era.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the next EP, etc., that comes out after this one will have the show opener and the show ending songs on, and some of the ones from this EP will sit in the middle of the set.
Totally.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And some songs from this EP, I'll never sing live.
Right. So, but you know what I mean? Because you're going to bring it with the energy, and then you bring everybody down.
Totally.
And then you bring everybody back up.
Because it's still authentic. Those were real feelings. It's just that was that era. That I feel like I'll look back on those songs and I'll be like, oh, she was just a baby.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And then I can get a little bit more expressive and not play as safe. Yeah. I feel like I was a baby writing that, and I've learned so much since. So I'm excited to try a bunch of just take wild risks.
Yeah. Sometimes as well, what's really great as you develop through your career as well, I'll leave you to go in a minute because I know your battery's about to go boom.
Yeah.
Right. But
I also want to add one more thing about the new music because I think this is important.
Go on then. Go.
Okay. As someone who I want to write stuff I can dance to.
Yeah.
Like I'm like pretty stiff as a person. And I think that's one of the biggest changes. No, exactly. Like I'm very controlled type bass type stuff, but I've been making stuff that makes me want to like move a lot more. Just so much just energy, like writing things to help that in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Okay.
you do dance, what's it look like?
There's like one video on my Instagram where I dance to one of the songs that would be on the second EP, and it's just me in a hoodie just doing mom moves.
Mum moves. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That's
Yeah.
what I do. Well, I do dad moves.
Just a lot of knees, just a lot of knees rocking.
Knees
Yeah.
and then midway through you go into the old robot.
Yeah, you got it. The sprinkler, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, that's why I took up latterly after music, like playing in a band or whatever. That's why I took up DJing,
Why?
because I didn't need to go on the dance floor.
Oh, okay.
I was quite happy to have like 3,500 people in front of me going like this and doing, shaking and doing all the moves.
Totally.
All you have to do as a DJ is that.
Yeah.
Anyone can do that, right?
And provide like a huge drop.
Woo, woo! Come on, everyone!
Yeah. That's all they need. They're already in the mood to dance.
Put your hands in the air like you just don't care.
Exactly.
It's
You got me on 2%.
There you go. We must leave you on 2%. This has been the incredible Fran, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful conversation, as ever. If you haven't checked out and pre-saved, even though Fran doesn't want you to, her latest EP, she does really. Do go and do it. And then look out for the new EP when that comes out at some point. You'll see whether or not Fran introduces some of those other elements of conversational content that we've been talking about over the last 40 minutes or so.
Will.
She definitely will. She definitely will. Fran, thank you so much. Folks, thank you so much for listening. You people out there. And you're nice as well. We will be back soon with more of my music. Until then, from Fran and I, have a good life. Take care.